Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43 says, "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low." So the strangers are Caucasian, so-called Caucasians, white people, Asians, East Indians, Africans, every other nation shall get up above the Israelites or the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They should get up above us very high, and the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans shall come down very low. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high and live in neighborhoods like this. And the Israelites shall come down very low. That's why there are programs that have been set up for us to continue to live like this. It's not because you're lazy. It's because there's things put in place to continue to keep you in this position while they continue to be in this position. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 44. "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45 says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee," meaning follow you, "and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee." And these curses that follow you, Deuteronomy 28 and 46, "They shall be upon thee for a sign of who these chosen people are, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." Seed is meaning bloodline, sperm line. That should be upon thee for a sign of who these people are. And everybody is going to wonder, could this be the people? Of course, no one wants us to be those people. Deuteronomy 28 and 47 says, "Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things." 28 and 48 says, "Therefore thou shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee." Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, sir. So you shall serve your enemies in hunger, meaning you have to go to them if you're hungry, if you're in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things that we need, we have to go to our enemies for, because we are on the bottom. "And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." So these are actual slave photos. They took pictures of everything that they've done, all kinds of evil that they've done. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 49 says, "The Lord shall bring a nation," or a nationality of people, "against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. When we got on those ships, we did not understand those people's language, and they didn't understand us. Deuteronomy 28:50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Fierce countenance. They coming hard. They going in. They don't care if you're young. They don't care if you're old. They will not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Deuteronomy 28:54. Another curse is, so that the man that is tender among you, someone that you had respect for, tender and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, toward the wife of his bosom, and to the remnant of his children which he shall leave. Sound familiar? We are all destroyed. Women have no respect for their men. They leave their children. The women are single. All of this stems back from the Willie Lynch letter and slavery, and it still continues to this day. Deuteronomy 28:56 says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Deuteronomy 28:64 says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. How do you get scattered from one end of the earth to the other? Scattered everywhere. Think about it. And there, wherever you're scattered to, you shall serve other gods, which neither thou, meaning you, nor your fathers have known. Your forefathers have not known these other gods that we would be serving as you got scattered. Even wood and stone. This is the wood, Christianity, and the stone is the Kaaba stone for Islam. Islam and Christianity are the two biggest religions that majority of the children of Israel believe and worship. Okay? Deuteronomy 28:66 says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. Always in fear. No assurance of thy life. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68 says, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there wherever you got off those ships, ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. The children of Israel were slaves in Egypt. You will go into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, the way I'm saying it to you is how this is going to happen. Thou shalt see it no more again. You shall see this slavery no more again. And there, wherever you got off those ships, you shall be sold unto your enemies for bond, meaning slave, slave men and slave women, and no man shall save you, buy you, save you, redeem you. Exodus 20:2 says, I am the Lord thy God. I am Yahweh thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt is synonymous with the house of bondage. When you think of Egypt, when the Most High God thinks of Egypt, he thinks of it as the house of bondage, the house of slavery. So the Lord shall bring you into the house of bondage or slavery again with ships. This is not speaking of everybody on the earth, one group of people. Going back to Deuteronomy 28:66, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. This is a continuation of this. The original police were the slave catchers. Back then it was called the sheriff. I mean, of course, they still have sheriff now, but the police department was started way back in the day. They started out as slave patrol, slave catchers. This is the map of the what you would call the transatlantic slave trade, although there is evidence that it was more than just the West Coast. They dragged this group of Israelites into slavery from different parts of the world. Spain, east coast of Africa, North Africa, other places in addition to those that show you the trail on this map. And the list of the Israelites on the chart at the bottom show who the conquerors of these individual tribes are. You can pause it if you like, just to take a longer look at it. Now I'm going to show a few of the slave sale ads. You can pause this one also if you'd like to look at it for a longer period of time. These are actual slave photos of the Israelites. Mind you, they took pictures of everything that they've done. Just about every act of evil has a photo. So this is going to be the end of part 1, the first video. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Shalom.